Sears chairman Ed Lamport is watching his company go down in flames, shuttering stores and laying off employees. That's Sears. But according to reports, that isn't stopping him from closing on a flashy $40 million mansion down in Florida. Time to bring in our panel. Hadley Heath is a senior policy analyst for the Independent Women's Forum. Guy Benson is a political editor for townhall.com. And it's his birthday today, so happy birthday to him. Al Lewis is a columnist for Dow Jones Newswires. Okay, Al, let's start with you. $40 million house. Here's your pink slip.
I know this looks bad, but I look at it this way. Think of all the Sears Kenmore appliances that are going to go into that baby. You got Sears Craftsman tools getting used up. And, Sears sells siding. I think that place would look great with some vinyl siding. This could be a real boom for Sears. I don't know why everyone's, looking at all the jobs he's cutting and stores he's closing. Might be his plan to save it.
Guy, what do you think of this? We just saw the picture of the house. Let me tell you, it's some house. It's more like an estate. I mean, don't people pay attention to the optics? I mean, you're running the company, you're laying off people left and right, and on the other hand, you're saying, but for me, it's a $40 million mansion.
No, you just nailed it, Jerry. And first of all, thanks for the birthday wishes. Here's the thing. I feel like no one should begrudge this guy his success. In fact, we should applaud it. The fact that he's able to afford a mansion like this is awesome, and we should all aspire to that. But as you sort of alluded to there, this is PR 101. If you're laying off lots of people, you might want to delay the purchase of your lavish new semi-private island, estate. That's just sort of basic optics. And so guess what? He violated those rules. He's going to get some flack for it, and he should.
Hadley.
Right. Well, I'll just point out that when Sears lays off a lot of workers, they're cutting costs, and they're in a very competitive industry like retail. So they're more likely to pass along those cost savings to consumers in the form of lower prices than to spend it directly on an extravagant new home.
I mean, Hadley, do you really believe that? I mean, I'm speaking out of turn here, and the leaders of Fox Business Network are going to come down on me like a ton of bricks. But if you really think Sears is going to cut prices because they're laying people off, I don't know about that. Al, jump in.
They're going to cut prices because they have to compete with Walmart, and they're not doing a very good job of that either. And, cutting prices and laying off workers to cut prices is going to be the death of us. It's a race to the bottom.
Well, that's an interesting point, too. All right, Hadley, sorry to jump on you like that.
That's all right.
I had to call it out. All right, here's another good story. $11 million of Detroit taxpayers' money down the drain. A recent audit done by the city's Department of Human Services finds just 2 people actually benefited from the grant that was originally supposed to help 400 low-income job seekers purchase business attire. Guy, this is story. It's just up your alley. I know it is.
Oh, it just makes your head hurt. And look, you can talk about the particulars of the case, but I think the bigger lesson here, and it cannot be said often enough, good intentions does not equal positive, effective, or affordable results.
No.
And the government is not the solution to every problem. And if we're going to grant millions of dollars to get people clothing so they can go get jobs, and then this only ends up helping 2 people, and all that money's been spent, who knows whose pockets that money's in, by the way. I mean, it reminded me of the story that came out last month. Turned out last year, in 2011, the U.S. government spent $1.6 billion on cell phones and cell phone bills for poor people so they could call employers to get jobs.
All right, Hadley, what do you say?
This is crazy.
Well, I did a little math, and for $11 million, you would think they'd set their goals a little higher. 400 people, that's about $27,000 per person. That's quite a shopping spree for a job interview.
Holy cow! You're right about that. We could buy Armani for everybody on that list, Al.
Absolutely, but more importantly, I just want to point out that in civil society, there are so many other solutions to this. How many of us bag up our clothes after cleaning out our closet and take them to a clothing room locally? There's no need for government here.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, listen, I think you need to look at the bright side of this. This was Detroit. And, as far as I've read here, the money wasn't stolen outright. So, I think the program was a success by Detroit standards.
Just because they didn't tell you they stole it doesn't mean it didn't get stolen. You know what I mean? All right.
Well, they haven't found, I mean, they have the money, right? And they have the suits. Well, they got the 2 people who got the suits.
Well, it's a sad story.
That's accounting.
Let's talk about women in nail polish. This is a critical story that I know you've been talking about. A woman handcuffed, thrown in jail, all over an argument about nail polish on an airplane. When a flight attendant asked her to put her polish away, she hid in the bathroom to finish and then began cursing when she got caught. Hadley, what do you say?
Well, you probably know too, Jerry, that nail polish has a pretty strong smell, but I don't think that's what she really got in trouble for. I think she got in trouble for raising her voice and using a curse word with the flight attendant. So this just serves to illustrate that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond. And even if the flight attendant was rude, it probably wasn't in her best interest to raise her voice in response.
That's a good point. Al, what do you say?
More proof that the terrorists have won. This is a kind of miserable flying situation that has been engendered since 9/11, and the TSA, everyone's pissed off. They're getting on the plane and they're expressing themselves. And we give these people power to put you in jail just for swearing? Who gave flight attendants this much power? Is there no swearing rule on a plane? You know, if they're going to get in my face, I might swear at them too. And you might be talking about me on a plane someday.
And you never put nail polish on your fingernails, as far as I'm concerned,
Nah,
Guy.
don't be so sure. Don't be so sure. I get manicures and pedicures now.
All right. Guy, what do you say?
I read through the details of the story. So the woman is going to see her boyfriend. She's painting her fingernails. Okay, fine. It smells. The other passengers complain. They ask her to stop. She agrees. She puts away her stuff, later goes to finish the last 2 nails in the bathroom so she's not affecting other people. And this flight attendant's waiting for her to yell at her as soon as she comes out. Of course she shouldn't have yelled back. Of course she shouldn't have used profanity in that tirade. But I feel like this might be an instance, and I usually come down on the other side of these things, this might be an overzealous, power-hungry flight attendant. To throw this woman in jail is completely preposterous. The airline, Southwest, should apologize to her.
I agree with that.
It's
and you know, the judge
You're
said...
right.
I agree too.
Go ahead, Al.
It's entrapment. She entrapped her. She said, well, how did she know what she was doing in that bathroom?
Well,
you telling me that nail polish smells more than that bathroom? Come on.
Good point. All right.
I don't think that's entrapment.
It's a good story. Just fascinating stuff, and I guess I'll stop painting my fingernails on airplanes. Hadley, Guy, Al, thank you. Great job, guys. Great interaction.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate your time.
Thanks, Jerry.
All right.